And welcome back to our live signing day show presented by Jimmy John's and American Family Insurance with National Football Editor Steve Spiewak. I am Steve Montoya, and we got a very busy man on the phone right now. That's JC Sherbert of at247sports.com. JC, thanks for taking time out of your busy day. How's things going for you so far?
It's been a good day today. We've had a big surprise down in Alabama with Rashaan Evans, the five-star linebacker, top outside linebacker in the country, committing to the Crimson Tide over Auburn. I think that's been the biggest, hugest, I don't know if hugest is a word, but the most big or most surprising commitment of the day. So far, it's been busy like it normally is, tracking down information. I think now all eyes are sort of on the West Coast to see what Adoree Jackson and Juju Smith do. Will they go to SC, and will Steve Sarkisian get the LA sweep? He's already gotten Damian Mama. We'll see what happens with the other two later today. But it's been an exciting day. Alabama wraps up the #1 class in the country, and you've got a lot of teams, LSU, Ohio State, and some other programs kind of jockeying for that second position here in the class of 2014.
JC, the commitment of Rashaan Evans to Alabama, I think the 24/7 crystal ball, only one analyst picked Alabama. In the young history of the crystal ball, JC, is this perhaps the biggest upset that you've seen?
Yes, for one that's gone this long and that was looked at as something that I think there was a feeling that Alabama was in it more than people thought. But I don't think that analysts, sources on coaching staff, sources close to Rashaan Evans talking to people on the record, I don't think anybody really believed he would get up there and pick the Crimson Tide. But if you really think about it, Rashaan was a guy that early in the process had his eye on Georgia and some other places. And, the question becomes, how strong is that desire to get away from home for college? And some guys wanted to do that. And it may have been a situation where Auburn was just too close. Alabama did a great job of selling him on playing the jack linebacker position, and he's very well suited for it. And I think that recruiting him to fit their scheme and to succeed within their defense, those were the things they did well with him, and they ended up getting him. And it's going to be interesting because we could see a scenario here in a couple of years where Alabama's got two starting linebackers in Reuben Foster and Rashaan Evans that hail from Auburn High School. So that's interesting with regards to the dynamics of that rivalry for sure. So I think that's a big surprise. And the crystal ball, it measures prediction trends, and there were not very many accurate predictions on this one when all was said and done.
Hey, JC, but the Auburn fans can be excited about one big, strong guy they got coming their way, and that's Braden Smith. What do you know about him?
Well, I think Braden Smith, as far as is he the top offensive line prospect in the country, there's a lot of people that disagree with that and that don't think he is. I think the folks in Olathe, Kansas definitely think he is. I think that at times dealing with them during the recruiting process, from what my guys told me, it was like dealing with LeBron James. But I think that he can be a superstar at Auburn because of the scheme they run on offense. This is a guy that, you can watch in that offense with all the different runs and the looks they give you and the pulls and the blocking. You can actually watch an offensive lineman in this situation, Braden Smith at Auburn and the Auburn scheme, and it'd be kind of a highlight thing, kind of be like watching a running back because he's so athletic, he's strong, he can get out, pull, just a tremendous fit, I think, at Auburn for Braden Smith, and a big pickup, and one that, you look at Auburn's linebackers, they've got other good linebackers committed in this class. Rashaan Evans is a heck of a player, top outside linebacker in the country, but, there aren't too many offensive linemen like Braden Smith that fit into what Auburn wants to do. So, Braden may end up making more of an impact than Rashaan would have, even though it does hurt with the perception, and it hurts losing the kid to Alabama right out of your backyard if you're Auburn to begin with. I mean, Braden Smith may end up being a bigger pickup for them long-term anyway.
Hey, JC, we're going to let you go. I know you got to get back to your busy day, so we really appreciate your time, and make sure you're up to date on the 24/7 sports team rankings and all the information they provide, one of our partners here at MaxPreps. Again, JC, thanks so much for joining us.
Hey, I appreciate it, guys. Have a great day.
All right, thanks, JC. All right, we're going to start to talk a little bit about the Big Ten, but I want to update you a little bit on what we have coming up here in just minutes, actually. Looking down at the clock, about 8 minutes until we can go live to the live announcement of Nifae Lealao, Stanford, Vanderbilt are on the clock. So as soon as we get that live stream up and running, we'll just go out to the campus here in Northern California, up in Sacramento, to see where he decides. But now we have a special guest on the line, I think, and it's a coach for OSU.
Yeah, Coach Ed Warner, offensive line call, offensive coordinator. Coach, how are you today?
Hey, I'm doing great. Doing well here in Columbus, Ohio.
Is the weather's not holding you down, is it?
No, we had a couple late faxes because of late arrivals at school and snow days and things in the Midwest. But by about 10:30, we had every fax in, and so our class is set. We're good.
Coach, one of the things that's impressed me about the way you guys have recruited is that you guys are really loading up front on the offensive line. Your baby, tell us about some of the guys you're bringing in and who you're excited about.
Well, yeah, that was an area of emphasis for us this year. So we have 5 offensive linemen that signed with us. We're fortunate to have a couple of them that were early enrollees, so they've already been on campus. But, to highlight a couple guys that were national guys that we're real excited about, Jamarco Jones, big offensive tackle from the Chicago area, De La Salle High School. Probably ranked top 5 tackles in the country, signed with us today, and so we're excited about him. We had him in camp a couple times and know what his qualities are, and great player. And then Demetrius Knox from down in Fort Worth, All Saints High School, ranked by some as the #1 offensive guard in the country. And Demetrius will be coming to us in June as well. He signed today. So those are 2 national top-tier guys. And then within our own state, we were able to sign 3 offensive linemen that we feel real good about. Big, long, athletic kids that we've had in camp. Kyle Trout, Marcellus Jones, and Brady Taylor. So those guys were all in the state of Ohio, and guys that, we handpicked and had in camp and watched play. So, so that was good. We needed to get 5 good linemen in the fold for this year to replace 5 seniors that walked out of here, 4 scholarship seniors and 1 walk-on. And those were good players that we lost, so we have to replace those guys.
Coach, it seems like more so than the previous staff there at Ohio State, you guys are not afraid to look outside the borders of the Buckeye State. Can you describe your recruiting philosophy in that you guys seem to pay special attention to a lot of guys in different parts of the country, more so than the previous staff there?
Well, what our philosophy is obviously we want to recruit and develop players that can help us win championships, Big Ten and national championships. So we're going to start in the state of Ohio, where there's great players, great high school coaches, and many tremendous players. And we are going to look through the state, and we are going to try to recruit the type of players from the state of Ohio first and foremost that can help us win championships. And then we expanded our boundaries to not just neighboring states now, but to wherever we need to go to supplement the Ohio kids that we recruit with kids nationally that can help us win championships. So like we did with the offensive line, we took 3 offensive linemen that we felt really good about in state that we feel fit what we're looking for, and then we expanded outside of that to go national for 2 others. Same token, other positions. We've signed other kids in the state. We signed a couple good in-state linebackers, and so we're going to look in-state first and then expand after that. But so there's no borders to our recruiting now. We'll go Florida, Texas, California, East Coast, and I think we have 12 states represented in our recruiting class.
You guys have certainly done a tremendous job of expanding those borders. A state that probably doesn't produce a ton of future Buckeyes, New York, actually gave you guys a young man, Curtis Samuel. What do you like about Samuel, Coach?
Well, he's a tremendously gifted athlete. He's here right now. He was an early enrollee, so Curtis has been with us now since early January. Explosive, great speed, tremendous athlete, and a tremendous upside. His physical body is still developing, so someday he could, be a 210, 215-pound person that can run a 4.340 because he's as fast as anybody on our team. When we tested him his first week here, he's in Braxton Miller, Bradley Roby, Ryan Shazier speed category for our team. So he's at the very top of that, and he still could be in high school. So very explosive and just a guy with a lot of upside and a great human being as well.
Hey, Coach, finally, before we let you go, what's a day like this for you? Is it laid back? Are you sitting relaxing, or are you stressed out a little bit? What's it like for a coach on signing day?
Well, there's a little tension in the morning because there's always a few guys that you believe their pledge that the fax is going to come, and until you get it, you're just not sure. So you have a little bit of that, but then once the faxes come in, you're excited and you relax, and typically we'll have some kind of get-together tonight as coaches and staff to celebrate the signing of the class, but we've also already had a recruiting meeting and identified our needs for next year, identified our scholarship numbers, and know what our plan is moving forward. So we've already had that meeting today, and so we are moving forward onto the next class and have a plan to do that. So it's a busy day. It's a good day. A lot of media, a lot of Ohio State Buckeyes that care about what happened today, and so we spend a lot of time with that as well. But it's a good day. It's not too highly tenseful because we knew most of the guys we were going to get, and we had no surprises today, so that even made it better.
That's for sure. Hey, Coach, we really appreciate your time on such a busy day, and best of luck in the future. Thanks again for joining us here.
All right, guys. Thank you.
Thank you, Coach.
All right, that's Coach right there for OSU, and it looks like the Nephi Laylow announcement is getting underway. So if our producers can go to the ceremony right now, and it looks like the Capital Christian gang is there. Guys, are we going to be able to get full sound on this?
Was selected as player of the year for the conference from the coaches in the league.
Wow, the man in uniform.
And so they leave.
We'll kind of jump in here a little bit too while we keep going back to the live feed there. Again, this is Nifae Lealao at Capital Christian High School up in Northern California. It seems like it's between Stanford and Vanderbilt. We know it's signing day. Anything can happen. He's a big kid. He was originally committed to Stanford, kind of backed off a little bit, took a visit to Vanderbilt, and now he will be committing here soon. So let's get it back out to the live stream, as it looks like Coach Phil Gramm's is taking the stage now, and it looks like a few other kids will be with Nephi from other sports. So we may jump in and out of this live stream until Nephi gets out, but again, signing day is more than just football. I know that's what we kind of focus on here. Nephi is there in the white tie with the hats in front of him. So let's listen in to Phil Gramm's real quick to see if they're getting a Nephi.
Wherever he ends up, when he tells us in a minute here, they're getting a great human being. He was a league MVP in 3 different roles from his sophomore year through his senior year. All-league MVP his sophomore year, defensive player of the year his junior year, and lineman of the year his senior year in the GEL. And not too many guys can say that, but just the combination of his size and his speed and his heart is what separates him from other football players. And I'd like Coach Johansson just to say a couple words about him. He's our defensive coordinator, and Nephi is going to be a defensive player on the next level, but a great young man wherever he ends up. So.
When Coach Grams and I came here 3 years ago, and I came to be the defensive coordinator, we started looking at film of the previous year, and we got to see this young man as a freshman playing varsity football, and I knew right then he was pretty special at that level. And it's just been a great process to see him mature and get to this level. I'm super excited for him, and he's going to have great success at the next level. And super proud of you.
could step up. We'll start with Caleb. Devin. Devin, go ahead. Levi. And Nephi.
Okay, well, like, first and foremost, I'd like to thank the man upstairs, because obviously you know that I know that we wouldn't be here if it wasn't for him. And then my parents and my family. And I know I can't emphasize this enough, but each and every one of you guys, I really do love you guys, and I really wouldn't want to go to college. I really would rather stay here with you guys, but you know, I got love for each and every one of you, and I'm so thankful I got to be at this school with you guys for the past 4 years. And guess I'll cut to it so everyone can figure this out. For the next 4 years, I will be going to Vanderbilt University.
Check. In honor of Vanderbilt Commodores, if you want to join along with the fight song, we'll give it a whirl. But here we go, ladies and gentlemen, the Commodore fight song from Vanderbilt University. Dynamite when Vandy starts to fight. Down that field with blood to yield, if need be, save the shield. If victory's won, then battle's done, then Vandy's name will rise in fame. Win, not lose, it's ours to choose. Vandy's game will be the same. Down the fight, school fight. Oh, there it is, fight. V, give me a name. A, N, D, Y. Vandy, Vandy, go, fight, win. Good job, thank you.
All right, well, I guess that's a little bit of a surprise since most of the time through this recruiting process, Nephi has been committed to Stanford. Now he goes to Vanderbilt. And we actually have some footage of Nephi, if our producers can bring that back up here in a second, but just to kind of go back to being committed to Stanford, which is in Northern California. For those who aren't familiar with where Capital Christian is located, it's up near the Sacramento area. Stanford's only about an hour and a half maybe away, and to go all the way across to Vanderbilt, it's kind of a surprise here on recruiting day.
That is a surprise, yeah, and you also don't see too many kids decommit from Stanford. You know, Stanford is very specific about the type of student athlete that they are looking to recruit and looking to ultimately sign. And so when a young man decommits from Stanford, that is pretty surprising. And so, I'm not surprised that he ended up signing with Vanderbilt, given that he seemed to kind of be backing off his pledge to Stanford. But to your point, Steve, that is quite a commute all the way out to Nashville from Northern California. But the commonalities of Vanderbilt and Stanford, they're both high academic institutions. So in that regard, it's not all that shocking.
Yeah, and you could see the emotions coming from him on signing day. It is such a big decision for these kids to make, and it's not as easy as just choosing a college, and they're making these visits. They get to know people. It's the next 4 years of their life potentially, and to go away from your family all the way across, I'm sure that was not an easy decision for him. So Vanderbilt got a good defensive player. Again, I've seen him play a couple of times. So NorCal loses out and keeping one of their own kids local, but Vanderbilt picks up a nice grab there. So that will do it for this segment. We will be back very shortly as we have more live announcements coming up. We're going to hit up the West Coast, have some more phone interviews and more. This is our live signing day show presented by Jimmy John's and American Family Insurance.